What's up, comic fans, and it's time for that new comic book day haul plus review. So we're gonna get into the books. We got some 50 centers. We got some books from like 2 weeks ago, and we got this week's books. We're gonna do it right after this.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Welcome back. All right, let's start off with those 50 centers. Four books. We got Falcon, number 1. We got Falcon, number 2. You know what? I did that kind of quick. Let's go back. We got Falcon, number 1. There we go. A little slower. We got Falcon, number 2, so you can enjoy these covers. And we got Falcon, number 3. And there's one more. We got Falcon number 4. I believe this is a Jay and a Cleto cover. I'm not sure about the other ones, but there's some dope covers in this series. So that's why I got those. Falcons number 1 through 4. All right. Let's see what else we got from last week. We got Star Wars, Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red. Still haven't read it. Looking forward to reading it. All right. And then we got The Amazing Spider-Man number 24. It was a good book. Decent read. It was alright. Interdimensional travel and all that stuff. Alright, so this week's books. This was free. This is what democracy looks like. A graphic guide to governance. I briefly perused it. Looks like it's a good way to explain how government works to the kids. You know what I mean? And how it's not always just cut and dry. But yeah, if you see that at your local comic book shop, it's supposed to be free. And also, I got it in my state. Maybe they don't have it in every state. I don't know. Some states ban books and stuff, so we'll see. Anyway, moving on from DC Comics, we got Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, book number 7. All right. This is the last issue by Mark Silvestri, and yeah, it's really good. So right, we get to a point where the Joker and Batman, who are working together as a deadly duo, end up fighting each other, but it turns out that in the end the Joker is actually trying to save the Batman. He doesn't want his identity revealed and basically prevents that from happening. All right. And then in the aftermath of that, the person who they are trying to stop ends up looking like they die. Supposedly Batman and the Joker both think she's dead, but no, she comes back and she turns into like a quasi anti-hero. So looks like this story has some legs if it decides to go into a second book. But yeah, we'll leave it at that in case you decide to read it. And yeah, it's a good read. I think so. I think it'll be worth it if you read it in trade. All right. Next up, we got another Batman book, Dawn of Batman. This is Legacy number 900. Did I say Dawn of Batman? Dawn of DC Batman. That's what we're in. You know, they had all that other stuff and New 52 and etc. And this is Dawn of DC. Anyway, this is actually issue number 135 in the current Batman run, the current volume, right? I think we're in volume 3. So Red Mask, not the Red Hood, Red Mask. He believes that if he can go back in time and kind of envelop the Joker, he can become a Joker himself. Turns out that he doesn't become the guy who becomes a Joker, he becomes a guy who creates Jokers and makes them more powerful. And he goes hopping through different dimensions, right? In different time periods and stuff, and mostly just different dimensions. And oh man, it's funny because at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate all this dimensional hopping. But no, it ends up that he ends up in some really cool, I'm not gonna mention all of them, but he ends up in some really cool Batman universes, alright? Anybody like Batman the Animated Show or more importantly, Batman Beyond? So really cool stuff. If you want to see all these Batmen brought into Batman DC continuity, this might be the book to check out. All right, we're going to switch gears. I think I was going to say we were going to switch gears. I don't know what that's about. We're going to switch gears from DC. Now we're moving on to Marvel. And this was a last week book. Somehow it snuck into the pile with this week's books, but this is the Avengers Omega. What is it exactly? Avengers Assemble Omega, but this is the Galactus cover. The nice Alex Ross Galactus cover. Thanos also came out that week. Somebody called it Thanos on a toilet. I think it was Chop and Drop 2013 who said that. He just looked a little like pained while sitting. This was a free comic this week. I didn't read it, but this is Spider-Man 2 #1 Gamerverse. This is coming out of the video game that's coming out, the Spider-Man 2 video game. So if you're into Spider-Man video games, it's particularly Spider-Man and then Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2 is coming out, and you got both of those characters in this one game. So that might be worth checking out. I'm gonna read it. I doubt it's a great story, but it was written, I guess, to promote the game, and it was free. So that was pretty cool. Next up, we got Edge of Spider-Verse Spider Killer #1. The Spider Killer story was interesting, to say the least. It was different, right? It was like a little poetic, a little noir. And then you had Spider-Rex in the first story with like a version of Kraven and then a version of Venom. It was funny, whimsical. So you had a really funny, whimsical story, and they had a really dark story. Balance, I guess. And there was only 2 stories in this book with a $4.99 price tag. I don't know. I would have put $3.99 on there because I don't think there was enough meat and bones in this book to carry a $5 price tag. So it almost slides off the table because it thinks I'm mad at it and it just wants to punish itself. Anyway, it was alright. It was interesting. If you're into some of the Spider-Verse characters, then you might want to check it out. It promised a bunch of Spider-Verse characters, and I guess it gave us a few, but it wasn't that great. Next up, we got Spider-Man #8. I will say, I don't know if Mark Bagley went into his Fountain of Youth or something, but there was some really good artwork in this book. All right, so I really enjoyed that. And I guess I like where this story is going. It wasn't so Spider-Verse centric, right? It was a little bit more of an actual Spider-Man book. We had Spider-Boy involved in it, so some people said it was going to be like an origin of Spider-Boy. It turned out to be just a tiny bit of origin with more like just his second appearance and some kind of connection to Peter Parker. It wasn't really an origin, but he has some kind of sense that lets him know when Peter Parker's in danger. So, interesting book. Electro makes an appearance in this book. So it looks like we're going to get a little bit away from introducing, 50 Spider characters, and we're going to get like an actual just like Spider-Man book with some of those characters involved at times. All right. Next up, we got Venom and Moon Knight. But this is actually a Moon Knight book. #23. Venom's basically being chased by some guys from Alchemax. Runs to the Midnight Mission, where Moon Knight's living, breathing home base. And then Moon Knight kind of gives Venom some advice about how to fight these guys. Also, and then he's like, "How come, you just can't take them yourself?" And it turns out that there's like some sonic disturbance happening in the city, which is what is happening with Moon Knight. It's like, "Oh, that dude's causing me problems." Found that out in the last issue, and Moon Knight and Venom work to find this dude, and then the dude locks himself in a safe room and calls the cops. I guess if you don't want to get beat down by Moon Knight, that is the way to do it. Next up, we got Cult of Carnage Misery #1. Liz Allen turns into Misery. And that is Normie Osborn, also known as the Red Goblin's mother. But she gets attacked in this book, and she's got a vial of anti-venom and carnage kind of symbiote kind of mixing together, and it gets out of the vial, gets on her, and misery is born. Read it if you're into Spider-Man / symbiote characters. Next up, we got Star Wars Dr. Aphra, number 31. This is coming down from the last arc. Basically, she gets, her body gets possessed by the Spark Eternal. A group of people get together to save Dr. Aphra, but if you've been reading the book, you know she's not very friend-centric. You know, she pushes people away. I guess she does have some redeeming qualities, but that doesn't always show them. So these people still get together to save her, and then at the end she's kind of mad at them because she's like, "You guys put your life on the line for what? For me? You know, whatever." Really weird, but it's kind of a self-introspection or a self-analysis, right, by Dr. Aphra into who she is and you know what's up. And then at the end, all these people are like, "Hey, you know, we just saved you because we love you, but we don't really trust you, so we're gonna go. So good luck. We saved you, now we're out." You can probably skip 31 and just go straight to 32, which is gonna start the next arc. There is a nice little cameo at the end of the book, so if you're a completist though, you can keep reading it. That's probably why I got this issue. And last but not least, we got Star Wars number 34. And basically Luke is looking for a kyber crystal, and that's a cat, to help fix his lightsaber, which has been broken. And yeah, and he's kind of off on this journey. He's got to find himself. The rebellion force is about to mount an attack, and Luke can't even focus enough to help with that attack. He's like, "I gotta go out, I gotta fix this crystal, I gotta find what it is to be a Jedi." He's very obsessed with like finding himself in this book, and leads to some adventure on a planet where he almost gets double-crossed, and I think a new character pops up. So I don't want to spoil all that for you, but if you're looking for some new Star Wars blood, check out Star Wars number 34 with all your favorite characters: Luke, Leia, Hans. Actually, I didn't see Hans. Chewie, so CP3O and R2D2, C3PO. What did I say? CP3O, C3PO. Just lost my Star Wars card there, guys. So anyway, guys, that was my new comic book day haul plus review. It's late. I'm tired. Been working hard, but I gotta get this to you because we reached 500, and that means at some point this is getting given out. So stay tuned. We'll get this slab out to somebody. And you know what? Do what you do, because I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to get ready for next week's books. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go ahead and throw me a thumbs up. Comment down below. I just have to read that. That's running across the little teleprompter on the bottom here. And yeah, like I said, do what you do. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Go away. Thank you for joining me. And if you like comics, you're in a place to be. Peace!